Hi, everybody. It is Friday and it is Labor Day weekend update time. Notice the background almost looks like I'm sitting in an FBI crime lab. I'm actually in one of the audio studios at KGW TV. I wanted to get this recording and update out to you, and this was the only quiet space I could find this morning. So there you go. For the lack of an interesting background, I apologize. Well, Portland ended up hitting 93 degrees on Thursday, which was my forecast high exactly on the button. And it ended what have been 20 days in a row of no 90-degree temperatures. I don't have any significant changes for the valley numbers as we go into Labor Day, but there are a couple tweaks for the rest of the state, and I'll get to all of that. So clearly, the headline for Portland, Salem, and Vancouver is that today, this Friday, and Saturday, tomorrow, will be the hottest of the bunch, with temperatures over Portland and the Willamette Valley and up into Clark County, anywhere from at least 95 degrees to as hot as 99. These would not be records. Records are still up to around 100 degrees, but certainly hot enough to catch your attention, and that you may want to, reorganize your day around the heat. Now, the other item, and this is new, and it is a change from what I was telling you. So I grabbed these live cameras off of my weather site, my 18 camera live network, just a couple minutes ago. So on this Friday morning, let's start with Gearhart by the Sea Resort, looking back at Tillamook Head, which is right here. And of course, Seaside sits right in there. Wonderfully clear. Astoria made it to 87 degrees yesterday and will be sunning in the 80s today, as will Cannon Beach be. But when you drop down into Lincoln County, um, especially Depot Bay and then southward into Newport, you find this. Look at the view from the Channel House. Depot Bay, you can't even see the town along 101 because it is so foggy. And there are indications that some of these fog banks on this Friday along the central coast, not the north coast, but the central beaches, may be persistent. And there are new signs that there could be a fog bank encroach all the way up along the north beaches on Saturday. These fog banks are always kind of iffy, but if you're thinking especially about taking a day trip because you want to get out of the heat, go to the coast and enjoy some sunshine, I think you're safe to do so today from Cannon Beach, Seaside northward. But starting tomorrow, check conditions before you go. And even for today, these fog banks may be persistent along parts of the central coast. And that will keep beach temperatures in the 60s if the fog doesn't lift, okay? And then Labor Day, yes, we're still talking about the threat from the coast to the valley, the gorge, the Cascades, and really much of Oregon, having at least the possibility of a scattered shower and a thunderstorm. And I'll show you what the modeling is indicating coming up here in just a moment on that. So back to the hot weather story. My forecast high for Portland today, 96 degrees. The record high at the airport is 100, so we will not make that. It's got to be 1 to 2 degrees hotter today in most inland spots than it was yesterday. Portland was 93 yesterday. So I'm thinking at least 94, 95, maybe 96. And then tomorrow looks to be another degree or two hotter. So that would put Portland up to potentially 98 with a record of 102. By the way, Salem, you folks were 96 degrees yesterday. And on Thursday, the hottest spot in the state was down in Medford, where it hit 100 degrees. Now, by Sunday, the worst of the heat is over, and we may or may not get back up to 90. The record high is 98 degrees. Okay. Quick shout out to my sponsor, then we'll get you back to your forecast, the Momentous Wealth Podcast. I know a lot of you are into podcasts, and if you have interest in educating yourself further when it comes to investing topics, especially for your retirement 401k, mutual funds, and that type of thing, you can listen to Apple Podcast and Spotify, a big collection of different topics from the Momentous Wealth Podcast, and that is a local firm, Momentous Wealth Management. Todd Pisarczyk's team, licensed in Oregon and Washington. I consider Todd a friend of mine. He's done my finances since I first moved here back in 1999. Really highly recommend his firm. Okay, here is a look at what's going on. And let's jump to the live camera network. More on just hammering home that it's a holiday weekend. A lot of folks will be going to the beach. There's the Channel House. Notice the gorge and everybody else is clear. And then you get back down. This is the Inn at Ottercrest, which is south of Depot Bay. Very fogged in this morning. And again, that fog might not break. So a big heads up on that. The forecast for the North Beach is back up into the 80s. Again, Astoria hit 81 yesterday. This shows 81 degrees in places like Cannon Beach and Seaside, and if anything, warmer than that. This There is a fog chance tomorrow, although this shows that it should still be sunny at least much of the day along the north coast on Saturday. But I would check conditions before you go. Certainly Sunday, expecting a lot of clouds and cooler weather down to 69. A lot of clouds and cooler weather on Labor Day Monday along the beach and 67 degrees. Okay. Let's jump from hot weather now to that chance of a scattered shower, maybe even a thunderstorm on Labor Day. So this is tomorrow, Saturday, on the American GFS model. See the enclosed 591 contour on the 18,000 foot, 500 millibar map. So here's where that upper level high. It's right over Salt Lake City, Wyoming, Idaho, pushing hot weather into Oregon and Washington. And what I want you to notice is I play this into Sunday. See this upper level low coming in from the southwest? I still think Sunday we are dry, but as this low gets closer to the Oregon and southern Oregon coast, it'll probably start spinning up some cloudiness. That's why Sunday is partly sunny and not as warm. Okay. And then as we go into Labor Day, this is the American GFS model. And notice it basically tracks this across Northern California and extreme Southern Oregon. So if this track is correct, we probably would have a good chance of staying dry in Portland, Salem, and Vancouver, with the best chance of a scattered shower being Central Oregon and southward, and the Central Cascades and southward. But some models take this low and they push it more across Central Oregon and Central Oregon and the Central Coast, I'm trying to say. And if that's the case, then the chance of scattered showers all the way up into Southwest Washington would be greater on Labor Day. Now, I will tell you and share with you that none of the models give us a lot of rain chances with this. In fact, most of the models show very little moisture. Here's what the European shows. And we'll start this Sunday morning. Notice in gray some light precip 0.02, 0.03 along the Central Oregon coast. That's primarily from a low cloud deck that could actually start on Saturday, okay? And now, as I play this into Monday, now notice the scattered locations. So this is through the afternoon on Monday. Notice everything in gray is a scattered light moisture chance. This does include up into Washington, by the way. In green, you've got a chance to maybe get 1/10 of an inch in scattered showers. This shows maybe south of Eugene and then over into Central Oregon. There could be a thunderstorm mixed in. So all of the models have shown either nothing on Monday, Labor Day, or they've shown some scattered locations picking up a shower with typically not a lot of moisture, but an isolated thunderstorm chance mixed in. So I still don't have much confidence to tell you that if you should be worried for your outdoor barbecue plans on Monday or not. I think typically not, but realize you might have to scramble to dodge a shower or two at some point during the day. And just note, we're still keeping an eye on that. I want to also show you what the wildfire smoke scene is doing. So we had not had 90-degree weather in some 20 days, going back to the first week of August until we did it yesterday. And with this 90-degree weather, we're also getting a bit of a north and northeast wind flow. So that's migrating some of this wildfire smoke that's largely been sitting over in Idaho and pulling it back into parts of eastern Oregon. This is tomorrow afternoon, or excuse me, tomorrow morning at 8:35. This smoke weather model from Futurecast, courtesy of KGW TV. But you folks out east, you'll probably at least notice an increase of haze. Your air quality might go from good to moderate. Right now, this is showing any wildfire noticeable haze into Central Oregon is going to be pretty sketchy. It's mostly going to be off to the east, but we'll keep an eye on all of that. So let's run you through some of the forecast numbers. Remember, Medford did hit 100 yesterday, and on this Friday, 102, Saturday, 101, Sunday, 96. This is not putting out a rain chance down there, which, I mean, that low tracks in that area. So I would keep an eye on Labor Day, Sunday night and Labor Day Monday for Southwestern Oregon as well. Over in Central Oregon, let's see what they show. 95 today, 97 tomorrow, and 96 Sunday, with the cooler weather coming in on Labor Day Monday. This does not show a reasonable chance of scattered showers. But again, I don't think the modeling is picking up that low pressure center very well. So just note to double check Monday's forecast if you're traveling over into Central Oregon. But for right now, the big story is that it would be cooler, really comfortable, mid-80s on Monday and on Tuesday. Wow, really nice. How about up in Seattle? 81 today, 82 tomorrow, 82 Sunday, then the cooler weather for Labor Day with some cloudiness. and cooler weather on Tuesday with some cloudiness, and then going a little bit warmer after that. Central Coast, any chance of rain? Saturday, looking at, so today we know absolutely there are fog pockets in Newport. So if the fog doesn't lift, Newport will only be in the 60s today. And if the fog is there tomorrow, it would only be in the 60s and on Sunday. This does show a slight shower chance along the coast Labor Day, Monday, with a high of 69 degrees. Let's see here. Anybody else? Let's click on Eugene. Labor Day Monday, there's the cool down 80. There's the Sunday cool down 85 after being up into the 90s for what, 1, 2, 3 days in a row, it looks like. All right. Let's from that go to my Portland 7-day forecast. A couple tweaks. 96 today, 98 tomorrow. Not as hot. 90 on Sunday. Not clear on Sunday, but still at least partly sunny, maybe mostly sunny. And again, that shower chance is just something I'm watching. Don't freak out. Really, what I want you to realize is that if you have outdoor plans on Labor Day, just give yourself a daily forecast check to see if rain chances are starting to pop in your area or not, okay? Tuesday, I think, is still comfortable. Morning clouds to sun. And then something we talked about yesterday, an upper level ridge, a new one, this one developing out in the Pacific and then impacting our weather inland that could get us back up into the 90s on Wednesday of next week and Thursday of next week, and maybe even that Friday. So lots of little things to keep an eye on. I hope you have a fun and safe Labor Day weekend. I'm meteorologist Rod Hill with this update for you. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and I'll talk to you soon.